I felt my heart pumping. The warmth of the sun kissed my skin as I held my bow. When the buzzer finally rang, I knocked the arrow to the string, put the clicker on top, and took aim. Then, I took a quick breath as I pulled the string. When I reached my full draw, everything became silent as I waited for the click. I focused on the center of the target as I thought of nothing. Releasing the tension between my fingers and the string, I watched as the arrow flew towards the target. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Roberto Calala, and today I'm going to talk about the things I learned as a marksman. So, before I start talking about myself, I would first like to ask you guys, how old were you when you first started doing sports? Any? Ikaw, 1 years old. Ikaw, Riley. So, I think I started playing archery when I was 6 or 7 years old. It all started when we attended the graduation ceremony of my sister in high school. My brother and I, together with my mom, wandered around the school. Then we encountered somebody playing archery and doing some target practice. It really amazed us that a sport like that actually existed. So me and my brother decided to give it a try. I played for 3 years. But then, I stopped playing for a while since I outgrew my bow and I decided to try other sports such as basketball. When I started playing again during the summer of my second year here in high school, I felt like a total noob. I really had a bad start when I started playing again. And I even got jealous of my brother because he was able to go to the nationals on his first try, and it really frustrated me. Despite this, I continued training to become better, and whenever I got home from school, the first thing that I would do was either to work out or to practice more and more and more. Of course, it was not easy balancing sports, requirements, and games, especially when you're in Pisay. But even though it was difficult, it was actually worth it. After a few minor setbacks, I was finally able to go to the nationals along with my brother and take home a few medals too. Now, after playing archery for 3 straight years here in high school, I would have to say that I actually learned a lot of things from playing. Today, I would like to share to you guys 4 main things that I actually learned from playing this sport. Firstly, I will be talking about what regret actually is for me. Secondly, what a growth mindset is and how I was able to obtain one. Then thirdly, its relationship with humility. Then lastly, I will be talking about identifying my worst enemy. Although I know that sports aren't for everyone, I still hope that from this talk you are still able to get something and you'd be encouraged to give sports a try. But before I talk about the stuff that I learned, I'd first like to point out the benefits of sports. Doing some physical exercise can actually benefit you guys a lot, and the data from different researches actually bears that out. Obviously, doing sports or any physical activity will help us maintain our own physical well-being. Actually, with only 30 minutes of exercise every day, we are able to prevent different illnesses such as stroke, cardiovascular disease, and diabetes. And not only that, exercise can actually help us keep us mentally healthy. Several researchers have also stated that exercise can actually benefit people with depression, and it can help relieve stress and anxiety. And because of this, it has actually been suggested that physical activity is a better alternative for most antidepressants, most especially for depression. Now, this next one is important. What about our grades? Does sports or any physical activity affect it? Well, again, a lot of researchers actually say that people perform better academically when they engage in sports. This is because they are able to think cognitively better, and there, I actually experienced this. When I started playing, When I started playing archery again, I noticed that my grades were improving. Personally, I never really cared about my grades. I never really cared about the scores that I got from quizzes or long tests. I'm not a grade conscious type of person. Naalala ko pa nga yung first quiz ko dito sa Pisay, math quiz ko dito sa Pisay is 3/50. Imagine yun. But when I started playing again, I started having a mentality to strive to do better in most of the things that I do. I think that the things that I learned while playing this sport actually helped me develop a growth mindset, which in turn helped me perform better academically. So before we talk about what a growth mindset is, I would like to share to you guys how I actually got it. Earlier, I mentioned that I failed miserably when I first started playing archery again. What really kept me going was the feeling of regret. Whenever I failed in a competition, I failed in a long test or an exam, or in any major task in general, I felt really bothered. Phrases like, I should have, I could have, or if only, would actually appear in my mind. And I'm sure that everyone here in this room has had their own share of regrets. Am I right? Yes. I really hated feeling that I wasted an opportunity wherein I could have done better. And fortunately, I decided not to dwell on all those things. And I didn't let it get to my head. Instead, I decided to make the most out of that feeling of regret in school and in training in order to ease my frustrations. The bottom line is, I wanted to be better. It was one of the best options left for me during this time besides quitting. And it actually guided me to the things that I should do to be more successful. I trained every day until 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. in the evening. And I would go home, do my requirements until 11 p.m. or 1 a.m. This was really the time when I said, screw work-life balance if it means going home early just to play League of Legends, play Dota 2, or watch Netflix and chill. I really gave my best in training and a bit of effort in my studies so that when I play in a competition or do an exam or a long test, I won't finish with regrets. I don't want to end the competition thinking what I could have done to bag a medal. I want to finish a competition thinking that I really did my best, whatever the result. So from this, I was able to realize that regret is actually an indicator for me that I know better now, I know what to do next time, and that the only thing left to do is to be better. Now, this whole thing about regret leads me to the next thing that I want to point out today, which is a growth mindset. The feeling of regret really gave me the drive to be a better version of myself, and it encouraged me to grow. Because of it, I wanted to learn how I could get better at putting my arrows in the middle of a target. I wanted to learn how I could get better I wanted to learn how to hit my targets in life. Now, there are different ways on how we can obtain a growth mindset. But the one constant thing about it is the determination and the passion to be a better version of yourself in something. But really, what is a growth mindset? A growth mindset, according to Harold Dweck, is when athletes or entrepreneurs believe that their potential is limitless, in which they are open to learning new skills even though they are already good at what they are doing. So, just to ask, does anybody here watch NBA games? Anyone? Well, joke lang, meron pala. So, for those who raised their hands, I'm sure you have already heard about Stephen Curry. Well, great athletes such as Stephen Curry actually exhibit this mindset. In one of his interviews, he actually stated that, I feel that I can get better at putting the ball in the basket. And we should see where this mindset has actually taken him. After 9 seasons of playing in the NBA, he has already become a 5-time All-Star, a 2-time MVP, and a 3-time NBA champion. And we haven't even started counting the records that he has broken and the achievements he has already achieved throughout his whole career. But what's crazier is that he still thinks that he still hasn't reached his peak and that he still can get better. In one of his master classes, which is an immersive online class, you can look it up later, he stated that your state of mind is the main driving force behind your successes and failures. Stay hungry, stay driven. In the end, it is up to us whether we want to improve or not. Now, in line with a growth mindset, it is also important to realize that the real secret to growing and becoming better is humility. I'm sure everyone here can agree if I say that each one of us here is born special, right? But I'm sure that you can also agree that we are not born with all the talents in the world. Playing archery really opened my eyes to the fact that I still have much to learn, and it helped me become a better version of myself, not only in just playing the game, but also in life too. Because of this sport, I realized that in order to go from point A to point B in life, I had to stay humble. I have to accept the fact that I cannot be the best that I can be as a person without going through a ton of obstacles. Although it already seems like I already reached the peak of my performance when I gained a few medals in the nationals, I still believe that I can do even better. During training, I would constantly ask my brother to actually see the missing things in my form during there. And I would also ask him to film me execute a shot so that I can personally see myself and see the errors that I commit during I execute a shot. So, in conclusion, it actually pays to be humble. Humility is deeply rooted with the desire to be better. We cannot have a growth mindset if we already think that we are the best. Moving on to the last thing that I want to stress this afternoon, I want to ask you guys, where do most of our obstacles like doubt, lack of confidence, and indecisiveness come from? Well, I believe that we actually find such obstacles amongst ourselves. From the short journey that I had with archery, I was able to realize that the only real opponent that I had was myself. That one factor that hindered me from tapping into my own potential was me. All the walls, obstacles, pain, fatigue, and regret that I encountered can only be found in me, and it is my own responsibility to overcome them. So, to end, I would like to say that I really found so much satisfaction in playing archery. Besides wanting to win, the real reason why I kept being motivated and passionate in playing was because I wanted to see how much I can grow if I kept on playing. These things that I learned can be applied not only when I play, but also in all of the things that I do. Additionally, these are also not exclusive to archery. Other sports such as basketball, badminton, and swimming can teach us the same thing. It all depends on how we want to grow as a person. So with this, I would like to encourage you guys to take up a sport or actually any activity that you want to commit to, because I assure you, it can make you a better person. And we must remember that this is not only about playing the game, but also the journey behind it. Thank you.